All right, so do you have somebody in your family who doesn't like Disney or thinks they don't like Disney, but you really do, and you want to take them on a Disney trip, either to Disney World or Disneyland? I'm going to give you some tips and strategies that helped me when I didn't want to go to Disney to make me now do a podcast, do a YouTube channel, and enjoy my time when I go to the parks with my family. So here's the 5 tips for bringing someone who thinks they don't like Disney to Disney to make them have a great time. Tip number 1, start in Epcot. The best park, in my opinion, for someone who thinks they don't like Disney to get immersed in that Disney feeling but not be overwhelmed by it is Epcot. Is there anything better than going around World Showcase, getting some drinks, getting some snacks or some food? And they also have a ton of great restaurants, along with some really great rides like Soarin', Test Track, Guardians. Those are really great rides that you don't need to be a huge Disney fan to go on and enjoy the time you are on there. And then when you're done with that, what about all the snacks and desserts in restaurants that they have that you can go visit to? Like you can go to Beer Garden, get an all you care to enjoy buffet. You can go to Space 220 and have them have a restaurant meal in outer space. None of those things are really Disney centric. They're just very well themed, fun atmosphere, and great meals that you can have somebody go enjoy, and they don't have to get overwhelmed with that Disney vibe. So my first tip is to have somebody that you're going with go to Epcot and then spend your first day in any park in Disney at Epcot. Now, the other thing that Disney does really well is food. And you can go to a nice restaurant that you kind of, maybe you get dressed up for, or maybe you're not into that dressed up kind of vibe, but maybe you want to go have a nice dinner with this person and you don't want it to be overloaded with Disney. You can go to so many different restaurants, whether that be at the resorts or in the parks, and just have a nice, quiet, or happy, fun meal. Depends on what kind of person you are. And there are so many different restaurants to choose from. Some of my personal favorites are the Liberty Tree Tavern inside of the Magic Kingdom. Now, you may or may not go to the Magic Kingdom with someone who doesn't love Disney, but if you do end up there, Liberty Tree Tavern is a great restaurant to kind of go escape the chaos of Magic Kingdom, the crowds, and just have a nice, quiet, all-you-care-to-enjoy meal. It's not going to be the best food you're ever going to have, but it's really home-style cooking that you're really going to enjoy. Next restaurant that I love is Kona Cafe, another casual restaurant inside one of my favorite resorts, the Polynesian Resort. And you can go there for breakfast. You can get the Tonga toast, you know what I mean? Or you can go for lunch or dinner, get some sushi or some Kona braised short ribs. They have so many different menu items to please everybody. And it's a great atmosphere. It's inside the Polynesian. You get to watch the monorail go by. And again, another place that doesn't overwhelm you with the Disney feeling of someone who may be hesitant to go to Disney. Another great one. The other great one that I love is Steakhouse 71. If you want to go to a nice steakhouse inside the Contemporary, what a great restaurant to go to and take someone for a nice steak dinner. I went there. I enjoyed the steak dinner. It's got a nice environment. It's very well themed, but not overly themed. And it's inside one of the most iconic hotels in all of Disney, the Contemporary. The monorail's going through it on the top floor, and you can just see everything in there. I love that restaurant, and I would take somebody who's not into Disney but wants a good steak meal. That's where I would go, Steakhouse 71. If they're like me, you can get anybody to like anything if there's food involved. All right, moving on to the next one. Try to avoid the value resorts. Now, I know a budget may be something you're concerned with, but if you can, stay at a moderate or a deluxe resort. The moderate and the deluxe resorts have that Disney feeling for those of us that love Disney, but don't have it the overwhelming Disney feel of being around a ton of kids and a ton of crowds and chaos like those value resorts do. The value resorts are very big, the pools are very crowded, and they often sometimes have cheering contests or group events that make it a little bit louder than those moderate or deluxe resorts are. So if you can swing it, I would suggest taking somebody for the first time to Disney to try to convert them into a Disney person. I would definitely try to stay at least the moderate resort. The Coronado Resort is great. The Caribbean Beach Resort, you got the Skyliner on there to get to all the parks, make it really easy for the transportation. You don't have to take the bus, or even the French Quarter. The French Quarter is by far one of my favorite moderate resorts, maybe even total resorts to go stay at. It's small, it's quaint, it's got a great theming. The rooms are great, the pool is really great, and everything is pretty close to the center of the resort. So no matter what room you're in within walking distance to the main lobby of the resort itself. And the other great thing about the French Quarter is at night with the lights lighting up, it's a great place to kind of get out of the room, go for a nice quiet walk, whether that be down by the river or just around the resort itself. And it's a very great resort for someone who doesn't like Disney or thinks they don't like Disney, but you're trying to get them to like Disney. All right, my next tip, and this is kind of for me. You got to take some days off. I know when you're at Disney, you want to go to all the parks, you want to experience all the things, but if you want to convert that person to go again for another trip after this one, try to take some days off in between. Don't do back to back to back. The one thing people who say they don't like Disney often talk about is they come back from their vacation and they feel more tired from the vacation they took than they did before they went on vacation. And that's because people try to do too much in too short a period of time. So if you are taking someone with you, try to skip days in between park days. Maybe don't do 5 park days in a 7-day vacation. Maybe only do 2 or 3. And I know you're thinking to yourself, whoa, I'm in Disney. I want to go to as many park days as I can. Hey, slow down. We're trying to convert people into Disney fans here. We don't want to overwhelm them. We want them to go back again. So you got to take it easy, okay? Go to 2 or 3 park days. Go to Epcot that first day. And then go to Hollywood Studios. And then maybe end at Animal Kingdom or even the Magic Kingdom and be like, all right, we're going to have a 7-day vacation. We're going to do 3 park days. And then we're going to have 4 off days where we can go do something outside of the Disney bubble. The beaches aren't that far from Disney. You can take a ride to go to the beach, or you can go to Kennedy Space Center, or you can just sit by your pool if you're staying at a moderate or deluxe resort and just relax and enjoy the pool environment. And the cool thing about those deluxe resorts and some moderates is they have quiet pools. So you don't have to be at the main pool that's really busy and chaotic. You can take a break at the quiet pool and just enjoy the sunshine, especially if you're like us and you're from the Northeast. That sunshine is hard to come by in those winter months. So being able to sit by the pool and enjoy the sun, huge bonus. All right, my next tip here is going to be a little controversial. Take a day trip to Universal. Hear me out. When it comes to Disney, I think about my brother-in-law. Doesn't really like Disney. Says he doesn't like Disney, but he loves attractions that are thrilling. He loves roller coasters. He loves being in the theme park environment, but he thinks Disney is for little kids. So what you can do is Universal Orlando is only a few short miles away from Disney, and you can go over there for a day or two, even spend the night at one of their resorts, which are just as good as Disney's, and take him away from the Disney bubble and say, hey, listen, I know you're not a huge Disney fan, and we're trying to get you to get there, but for now, we're going to spend a couple days at Disney, but guess what? And then we're going to go over to Universal Studios or even Islands of Adventure, and we're going to ride on rides like Velocicoaster, which is one of the most thrilling roller coasters I've ever been on in my life. If you're into thrills and roller coasters, which most people are, this is an amazing roller coaster. Or Hagrid's. Hagrid's is a well-themed motorcycle riding attraction that even if you're not a huge Harry Potter fan or you don't know what the heck is going on with Harry Potter, you can still have a great time on that ride, and it matches or beats anything that Disney has for a thrilling attraction. Then you can also go over to Universal Orlando and go on The Mummy or Rip Ride Rocket. There's so many things that you can do and see in Universal that you don't need to be a fan of any particular genre. So if you are taking someone to Disney and they're a little hesitant, maybe bribe them with a day or two over at Universal and show them videos of this, first of all, and then also of Velocicoaster and Hagrid's, and show them that they can have a great time without having to be around what they perceive as the Disney bubble. So those are my 5 tips. Hope they're helpful. I know that that's what helped me when I was going to Disney for the first time, and I was a little hesitant. Now, we didn't go to Universal, but as the time passed and I went to Universal a little bit more, I often suggest people who are hesitant to go to Disney say, you know what, maybe I should spend a couple days at Universal, because Universal is a great park. It's very much on the rise, and especially with their next park that they're building, Epic Universe, coming out not too long from now in 2025, it's going to rival Disney, and it's got a lot of thrilling attractions. And I often think about people who don't like Disney or characters or think they don't. Universal is a great alternative. So if you love Disney and you want to take your partner there, say, hey, listen, do me a favor. Here's what we're going to do at Disney. I have a plan. You're going to like it, but we're also going to take a little bit of a break and head over to Universal. So I hope you enjoyed those. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your tips are for taking someone or converting someone who doesn't like Disney into a Disney fan. Drop them in the comments below. And as always, everything that I mentioned and talked about, our podcast, our website, will all be linked in the comments below. So I'll see you on the next one.